Well, happy Saturday, website builders. We're giving it a shot again to see if we can get the technology to cooperate with us. And I see that I am streaming live, so that's awesome. I'm really excited about that. What will make me even happier is if I can transition effectively to the website builder tool, which I think I might be able to do. Let's see if we can get that scene active and move forward with that. So, without further ado, let me see if I can get technology to cooperate and switch scenes. So let's just see how that works. And if I want to switch to that, let's see here. Well, let's see what happens. So, I'm going to switch to this scene and see if you're getting that. You are actually getting that. How exciting. Awesome. So, technology has decided to be somewhat cooperative today. What we are going to do today is we are going to take a look at the website builder tool that I sell through my company. And it's really an awesome tool. It helps you to build websites really fast and really quickly. And the way that it does that is through the usage of these pre-programmed templates. There are a number of them, and you can see as I mouse over the different sorts of templates that you get, they're themed by your business type. So you can pick one of these and see what sorts of features get created for you. The beauty of this is that you can build a website really quickly. You have the features of what is offered to you for a particular type of organization, and it pre-builds everything. So without further ado, and so that I'm not just sitting here talking at you, we'll start some interaction with this tool. Today I'm going to pick this particular template, and any of the templates before you pick them allows you to preview them. We'll just take a look at a preview right here. So I've decided to pick this template because it's got the design that I kind of like with this big full image at the top. It has some call to action buttons here, and it already has a place marker for a very large headline, which I like. Then as I scroll down into the page, you can see that it has a place marker here for some other content which talks about your particular business or area of specialty. So you'll customize this with your, or I'll customize it with my own information. And it has these three blocks: experience, knowledge, and results, which are all totally customizable, and I'll change them out and we'll show you that shortly. So I'm going to select this theme, and it's going to build the pages automatically that come with this theme. So while it's loading, okay, you'll see that here we have some pre-canned information that has already been put in there. Because this is a legal page, it's put a page titled Attorneys. We can easily change that and correct it. So now we're going to move forward, and the first thing that we'd like to do is to add the logo. So I have my name here because the software knows my name, and I'll be able to add a logo by expanding the toolbar here on the left. So you see there is a very easy to use toolbar that pops up here, and it gives you a lot of different choices. So if you want to add an image, you simply click on this and drag it over. And you can see that it has created that default image of an island. You can change it out by selecting your own particular image that you want. I'm going to actually use my logo, the full logo, which is transparent. So I'll select that and I'll put it there. And you see it kind of made it huge. That's really not what I'm looking for. I can resize this by this little zoom bar over here. So I'm going to make it smaller, just grabbing onto this and pulling it in. And I think that size is a little bit better. However, you can see this square bar here that's outlined. It will only put that much of an image there. So as you can see, that really didn't give me the effect I want. So I'm going to double click in that again, and everything else opens up. And these little handles right here, if I pull on those, it allows me to now begin to make this logo the size that I really want. That's a great size. I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to click OK. I'm not necessarily liking the position of this. I would like to move it up here where the name of my company is. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to drag it up here, and I don't need that text behind my company name anymore. So I'm going to temporarily put the logo over here and going to click on the company name. The beauty of the Website Builder tool is that any piece of information that you click on expands with a little menu bar that lets you take some certain actions with it. So some of the things you can do, you could edit it, you could change some settings. There's a delete trash can here, which is exactly what I want to do in this case, so I'm going to delete that. I don't want that there. Now I'm going to move my logo up. To move any element, you simply click on it and hold your mouse key down, and then you drag it up in place. So once again, you can see that that's kind of too big for this area because it's overlapping my navigation menu. So what I will do now is I'll just pull the navigation menu down a little bit by clicking on it, holding the mouse down, and dragging it. I'll go back to my logo, I'll click on that, hold the mouse down, and drag it up in place. So that's a little better. I'm liking that a lot. So we have, next thing I'm going to change here. So what I'll do is systematically just change out every feature of the page to make it customizable to my particular business. So I like the Call Us logo and so forth with a little pop-out box here, but the number is actually correct because it does take my number from the account. So perhaps I'd like to make this a different color text so it stands out. I can do that by simply double-clicking on the item again, highlighting the text that I want to change, and then picking the color. So I think I'll make this somewhat brighter. Once we change out the background picture, the text color might make more sense that I'm picking here. And I want to bold this because I think the telephone number should stand out. So when you're working on text, you get a different little menu bar that pops up, which allows you to do a lot of different operations on the text. You can change the style of the text, you can change the font, you can change the size, the type size, the color, and you can even make it a link if you wanted to. In this case, all I really wanted to do was just bold it and change its color. So I'm going to click off that. You see these icons right here that came pre-built. It's a G+. It may be hard to see because it's kind of small here in this window, but I don't want that particular, I don't want that element on my page. So, whoops, I've grabbed the wrong page element. Let's see. I don't want this Google+, so I'm going to click on it to select it, and you can see now I have the proper toolbar showing, and I can delete it by clicking on the trash can. I don't want Twitter as well, so I can delete that. And I do want Facebook, but I want to also make an adjustment to Facebook so that it will actually launch to my Facebook page when it gets clicked on. So I will go into the settings here, click on settings, and you can see that it started to put the Facebook link here. So I want to add the piece that points it to my company on Facebook. So I'll put in the BizPal company. And I will save that out. Okay. The next thing that I want to do is I want to change the background image. So I'm going to find a place to do that here on the panel by clicking on it. To change any element, as I said, you find it and you right click on it. And when you're working on the first header image in the background, sometimes you have to click around to actually find where that is. I may have gotten lucky, so let's see if we can replace, if this is the place where I could go to replace that image. So I've right-clicked on the image and I get this little toolbar again. It's a little different when it's an image because it gives you the option to do a specific thing with the image. And here I want to replace the image, so I'm going to select this toolbar. And indeed, this is the place that allows me to change the image. So I have some images here already uploaded to this panel. So I will pick this particular one. If I did not have an image here that I wanted to choose and I opted to upload one, I would browse and then choose a image from my local PC and upload that. So there you go. You see I have moved this image from my library onto this website. I've customized it in that way. You can do some other things with the image. You can, once again, if we edit the image, whoops, wrong place. If we edit the image, we can, or actually we can move the image around like this. So I think that might be fine if I move it up like this, and I'm thinking that's pretty good. The next piece of information that I'd like to modify here is experience you can trust. So one of the things that I advise when you're starting out and creating your website is for you to have everything that you need ready for you and ready to go. Everything meaning that everything you want to say, everything you want to put, all the images that you want to use. I believe that if you have everything ready, it makes your life a lot easier, and you can just copy and paste the information in. So as luck may have it, I've already prepared some of that text, so I'm going to replace this experience you can trust with something that I have already pre-canned, which is making website building easy and affordable. So I'm going to just, once again, with the text edit, you click into the box that you want and you highlight the text that you want to replace. And I'm going to do a paste by right-clicking in here and pasting. So what I've done is I've gone to my desktop, a Word document, I've taken and I've copied the tagline that I want to put here, and then I've highlighted in this box the text that I want to replace, right-clicked on it, and now I'm going to paste it. And it asks me, let's see, I must use, okay, so I'll use Control V. All right, it wants me to use Control V. So this is pretty good. I think I like this wording. However, it seems a little jumbled up on top of each other. I think that what I'll do is I will want to spread it out. So to do that, I'm going to click away from it, and then I'm going to click back in it so I can get this drag handle. And I think this is good. So we have the first tagline. I want to change the second tagline. So again, I'm clicking in it and I'm selecting it, and I have a pre-canned written text that I want to post in here. So I'm going to say, we understand what it feels like to be a small business owner. Maybe that's too long. So I'm going to use this other piece of text that I have. And let's see, let's go back and click in here and modify this piece. Again, with a Control V. And that came in kind of light. So this will give us an opportunity to show you how easy it is to change text, size, color, font. So this pasted in here as a paragraph text in this gray color, and I think the gray bleeds into the background. It's really not the best choice. So I'd like to make this white as well. So I'm going to select the text, select the color. Let me just redo that. Select the color, text color tool here on the panel, and then pick the color I want. If you had a particular color that you wanted to use, let me do that again. Whoops, whoops, whoops. So as I drag that over, it just occurred to me that I wanted to show you also another wonderful feature of the Website Builder tool is the undo button. So I dragged that text over, and I'm not sure I dragged it back to where I really wanted it. So I can use this handy undo button. But I have to be out of the text. So let's see, undo button to undo my changes. Okay, so this text down here is a little small, and I think the changes that I did were so small you couldn't really see it moving. I'll show you the undo button a little bit further later on. So I want to really make this text a little bigger. 16 seems a little small compared to the other. So I've clicked on the text, highlighted it, and I'm now trying to change the font size by clicking on the font size button here. So let's try and make this 20. That's still a little small. Let's make it a little bigger. And you'll see as you're working in this tool how nice it is because you can actually see what you're doing. You don't have to wait. You know, some of the website tools in the past you needed to actually do something before you got to preview. And here it's what you see is what you get. As you're working in it, you can see the changes that you're making. So I like that. We're going to keep that here, except for I think that I might put an exclamation point. Okay. All right, as we're working down the page, I think the next element I would like to change is the menu. So the menu is the way that your website visitors will navigate from one page to the other. Today we're only creating the home page, but when you created a template, it automatically created a bunch of other pages for you as well. So it created an attorneys page and a contact us page. Because we are not attorneys, I would like to make this another title for a page. So for today, I will make this title something else. I will right-click on this, and I will get the ability to edit. You can see this little pencil and paper icon comes up when you want to edit. So as I edit that, I am going to get rid of the attorneys for now, because ultimately I will have other pages for the types of services that I do. So I'm just going to hide that. I could actually delete it if I wanted to, but I'm going to hide it for now because it's really not something that is important to my particular business. And so you can see how it adjusted automatically. So we're going to continue with our homepage edits. This Contact Us button was put on here automatically by the Website Builder tool. And the beauty of this is that it will come and build automatically with a link that will be clickable to this Contact Us page. And in this case, the Meet Our Attorneys is clickable to the Meet Our Attorneys page, which we have deleted. So what we would need to do is create a new page, change this label, and make this button click out to that page. It's not that complicated. I'll go through that in a moment. But if you click on the buttons, you can see what has been set up. So I've clicked on the Contact Us button, and here are the settings for the button. I'm going to use the settings bar, and you can see that the label is Contact Us. You can change the colors of these buttons very easily. This particular one is set to, I think it looks like it's set to some sort of gradient color, which is a blended color of a blue. You could use the green if you wanted to, and maybe not the best choice for me, but we'll give it a shot. Here is where you see, so let's start from the top of the settings. So the settings, as I started to say before, the label is Contact Us. Suppose I wanted to make this all capitals. Not sure if I would, but we can show you how that works. Contact Us. So now you can see on the left how the button is actually changing in real time to show me exactly what I'm doing. It changed again when I made it green. Here is an important place that we had just touched upon a little earlier. So when the Website Builder tool started out, it created the link automatically for you. And you can see here that it's linking to the Contact Us page. If you wanted to change the link to make it go to another page for any reason, you would do that here. And you do that simply by clicking on this arrow here at the right and making it link to another page. I'm okay with the Contact Us page going to the Contact Us page, or the Contact Us button rather, going to the Contact Us page. So I'm going to leave it in place like that. So I'm just going to click off that to keep it selected to go to the Contact Us page. I'm going to save this, and there you can see you have it. So as I look at the green, I'm not really sure I care for the green here. So I really like the blue better, so I'm going to revert back to the blue by clicking the Undo button, which doesn't seem to be working today. How interesting. Undo, undo. Well, that's quite something. However, we can easily rectify that by going onto the button, clicking the settings, and changing the button back to the blue. And in this way, we have the blue back, and that's better. I like that better. The button Meet Our Attorneys, we're going to change that to say, find out about virtual consulting. Actually, that's too long, so I'm going to say virtual consulting. And as I'm typing that in, you can see that it's set up to go to the attorney's page, and ultimately I'll add a new page to make it go to the correct place. This button is set up to be more or less a sort of clear button. I'm going to leave that in place. Okay, so that's set up to virtual consulting. So this icon here is not fitting with my business. That's a legal icon for a business who has a legal sort of path. So I'm going to change that. So let me go back here. I went too fast. I have selected it by clicking on it. When I click on it, I get a tool panel coming up, and I can replace the image by selecting this replace image. Any of the tool tip panels that come up, if you mouse over them, as you can see, you get different choices about what you can do with it. So it does give you more information about how you can work with the particular element on the page. So let's use this replace image, and we're going to use this little relationship handshake sort of thing here. So there I have that. That's there in place, and the size seems good, so I'm okay with that. I'm going to leave it in place. The next piece that we have is this middle headline. So I want to replace the text here with text of my own working. So once again, I will be an advocate for going out and having all your information prepared ahead of time so that you can just copy and paste it in here. And so I have such a line here. So I'm doing that now as I'm speaking to you so we can paste it in. So to change it, once again, I'm selecting the particular element where I want to change, and I'm going to highlight the text that I want to change, and I've already copied from my other document. I'm going to do a Control V to put it in. So you'll notice I left the M here on the end of the other headline. I did that because I wanted to preserve the color of the text and the size of the text to save myself a little time, because if I had just pasted over it, I would have lost the formatting, and I kind of like this formatting. So I'll get rid of this M, and I'm pretty happy with that. I think maybe I'll move it out a wee bit. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll just move this. I'm going to just make this a tad bigger because it's a big headline. And you can see that I have an extra punctuation mark here. So to get rid of it, I will simply click in the box next to the text, put my cursor and backspace over that item. I'm going to go get the other text that I have ready to put in place here, and you can see how easy it is to work with these panels and to change things. You can move them around. Now I have the text copied. You can resize them, you can delete them, which I'll show you how to delete something shortly. Okay, so now that I have the text that I want in place to replace this part down here, I will highlight most of it, and I'll do a Control V in here. Once again, I wanted to preserve the formatting, so I chose to keep the first couple letters so it would paste in with the same format. Just a time-saving trick to save you from going into the panel. So we've been working at this for roughly about something around maybe 15 minutes or so, and we have a good representation of a web page created. A home page is almost done. This is a great time saver. Really helps you build your website much faster and easier, and really using templates that have been worked on and provided for or created specifically for other types of the type of business that you're in. I can't say enough about that. And I'm not quite getting the size here that I want. So maybe I missed something. Easy. Yeah, I must have missed something in the paste. Easy and fast as possible. Now, I'm thinking that the text is kind of small. Even though I like the font, I'm not particularly liking the size. It's a very small font right here. It's a 16 font, and so I'm just going to make it a tad bigger. I'm going to make it an 18. So to do that, I have highlighted the text, And I have the toolbar up here where we have all the different features that we want. I'm going to make it a 14. It's still not that great. I'm going to make it a 16. Actually, an 18. That's much better. So I like that better. If I wanted to change the text color, I would be able to highlight it and use the bar here to do that. If I wanted to change the style of the font, I would pick from the fonts that are loaded here. However, most of these templates have already been pre-designed with fonts that work together. So I would advise that unless you totally hate the font that you're working with here in the panel, keep it the same, because that way you'll get the fonts paired together that have been proven to work as a set and look good together. So that would be my advice to you on that. So here we have finished our middle section. Now I'm going to work on these three little boxes right here. So sometimes in the website builder, they have locked certain elements together. And what I mean by that is that they may have locked this word with this image and this text as a unit, so that when you're working around here, they don't inadvertently move around and go in the wrong place. You can find that out by right-clicking on the element and seeing if it's locked. And this one doesn't appear to be locked. Because if it were locked, you would see, let me show you an example. If it were locked, you would see this little padlock right here that shows you that it's locked. Anything like that that you wanted to unlock is very easy to do. You simply select the element, and once you get this toolbar visible, you pick this More bar down over here, and you unlock the position. And now you're free to move it about as you like. The first thing that I will do here is I'm going to start working from left to right on these three panels, and I want to change the background image. The first thing that I want to put here is our website products. So I want to change the image to be something to be appropriate with our website products. So I think I'll just use this handshake. Actually, I'll use this. I'm going to use this little world sign. And you can see how it has you can see the preview of what it will look like by understanding this 4-bar area. So if I were to just okay this now, it would chop my image. I'm not particularly liking that. The other thing you can do is, while these bars are visible, as you can see, I have placed my mouse on the image and clicked down, and now I can drag the image up. Maybe it might work like that, but still this is going to cut my image off. So I want to do some adjustments to this image. It's zoomed out into this particular view of the image. This zoom bar will take the image to be smaller and larger. I'm going to adjust this, and this is a matter of just kind of playing with these to see how your images look. And I'm going to make this slide down into the left. Okay, so that made that smaller. So once I have it smaller, now I'm going to click on it and I'm going to drag it up and see if it all shows. As you can see, it's still cutting off the top and the bottom of my image, and that's not ideal. So I'm going to zoom it out a tiny bit more, just so that I can get that within the box. I really like to preserve the height of this because it's working well on the page, and I think it would be pretty good. So I'm going to select this and say OK. All right, so the word experience is on top of that in white, and white will not really work well for me. I am going to change the text color to be something else. I'm going to make it somewhat darker, I think. Now, when you're doing this and changing the text color on these elements, it's going to be interesting because every image you use is different, and you want to pick a color that is consistent across these three particular titles, and that also looks good in the color family with what else you're doing. So I've selected the experience label, and I'm just going to try the text out here. I think that, let's try a dark blue. I'm not sure if that'll work, but we'll see how it does. So I've made that dark blue. I'm going to click off it. It kind of blends in. It's not the best. Maybe we'll move this after. So I think we are going to move this. I'm going to pull it down a little bit. under the word. And you can see my image is still chopped off here. You can see if I mouse away and get that off, you can see it's got a flat bottom on the globe, and that's not really good. So I'm going to adjust that again. Select it by clicking on it. Oops, not update the image, sorry. Not sure I get, here we go. Double click on it to get those handles back. And now I'm going to push it up just a tiny bit. And hopefully that will make it better. Let's see. Click away, and there we go. Okay, so the experience word is down here. I'm going to leave this for now and come back to it because I'm not sure how it's going to move forward with my other images. So first thing I'll do is change all the images and then work on the labels, and then I'll work on the text. So this knowledge image needs to change. I want this one to say virtual consulting. So I'm going to change my image to use my little consulting people here. Actually, I've already used that as my hand. I'm going to use the handshake here. And again, you can see how that kind of looks. I'm really not excited about that. I'm going back and I'm going to actually change it again. Oops, I clicked on the knowledge. I want to replace the image. I'm going to use this because I think it's better, a better representation. All right, so again, we have this image that is zoomed out. And this is zoomed out as small as it will go, which is interesting. I don't really like it that large. Let's see. Maybe we can also edit the image from here, and you could make it somewhat smaller from that perspective. I haven't worked with this a lot. Let's take a quick look and see what we can do. We can make it different colors. We can make it grayscale. We can remove the white, which is a nice feature, but it doesn't allow us to do the resizing that I'm looking for. So I'm going to cancel out of this. So for right now, I think I'm just going to move these people down over here. Again, this is a case in point of where you would want to have everything ready to go. So pre-building a website, you would want to have, if you're deciding to have 3 images like this, you would want to make sure that you have them in the size that is equal for each other so that it looks good here. Today, I'm not going to go through and resize this image on my Photoshop tool, but I will use it like here in this particular view just for now, and we'll do that. The knowledge on this particular wording over these people is not that bad, so maybe we'll modify again as we move forward and put this term back up over here. But let's go to the next block. All right, so actually, let me just change this to be my desired wording here while I'm on this block. Virtual consulting. Okay, clicking away. Now for the results panel, I really would like this to be custom websites. So I'm going to change the image and I select the image. You'll notice that when there are multiple elements, like you have the results layered on top of this, you might click the wrong one first. So if I want to change the image and I'm accidentally in this results text, I can simply get out of that by clicking more along the image. And you can see anything that you select, this is a great clue to help you move forward. Anything that you've selected gets these blue boxes around them, or this editable feature, I guess. This little panel comes up so you can tell you're working with what element you're working with. So this is an image. Again, we can mouse over the toolbar to see what we can do, but it's clear that I want to change this image. So I'm going to click on it and select it. So for customized websites, actually I'll upload an image to show you how you can do that. So we're going to browse to the computer and we are going to upload an image. I have one in mind that I want to use here, and I'm going to use the one that I've used in my Site Builder Saturday because it represents a website pretty good, and that's this little image right here. So once it's uploaded, you can see it. It's selected by this check mark, and now I'll hit the insert button to insert it. And here it is right there. So this one I can zoom out a wee bit. And on. That's kind of small. I think I'll make it just a tad bigger. Whoops. It's hard to grab this little handle. There we go. That's too big. Okay. So now these little website people are down below the bar again. I want to move them up, so I'm going to select them and just hold my mouse down and drag it up in place. And I like that better, so I'm good with that. I'll hit OK. All right, so we've been at this for half an hour, and we're making a lot of progress. We're moving along. I think we might finish this homepage in under an hour. So under the results, I want this to be custom built websites. So I'll just change that text. I selected it by clicking on it and then typing right over it, and it preserved the text that I had before. So let's go back now to this color of the text. So I've chosen 3 different images that have some non-common elements to them. So it's going to be challenging for me to get the text just right. I think let's try something. So I'm going to edit the text, and perhaps in this case I want to make it, I definitely want it bold. Oops, it was bold. Okay, let's see if we can undo that. That made it really small. Okay, so interestingly enough, the undo button is performing as expected at this moment in time, and I'm not sure why it didn't prior, but as you saw, I did something I didn't want to do to this experience word, so I was able to select it and undo. So this text, I think let's make it a dark color. All right, let's make it, let's see, let's go into the more colors and let's see what we can find here for a nice dark color. That's almost a blue, a dark blue. So I'm not sure if you saw what I did there. So once I'm in here, you have some particular colors. If I select this, it gives you kind of like when you're in Word, the little grid of colors. If you want to do more colors, you can click in here, and that gives you this gradation of colors that you can use. And I want to get something in a dark, dark blue. And I'm not sure, what is this? Let's try that color. Whoops. Okay. So we're going to try that color. I want to preserve this so that I know what I've used and I can apply it to the others. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to hold it in my clipboard. If I like it, then I can put it on the others. And we might adjust the space. So let's just put this color here so we can be consistent. Once again, I've selected the text and I've gone into the color button. I've picked more colors and I'm going to paste that color that I have on the other one right in here. So they'll be the same. Okay, click away and there you are. And here we go. We're going to do the same for this particular feature. Clicking on the item, selecting the color, selecting more, putting it down here and pasting it in. Okay. Clicking away. So that kind of blends in. It's really not ideal. I do want to move this down and we might need to do some adjustments here with the text. So let's put this right about here. You can see there's a line that is showing up here. This is a line to help you edit, and I've pulled this down right under the word, under the global image, this word experience. It's kind of in the center, so you can see that here. So I want to bring this one down as well and make it be about equal to the line. Again, with this one here, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to drag it down. So once again, the beauty of using the website builder is that you can customize everything that you want. And moving things is a snap. You select it with the mouse, you press the mouse down, and then you drag it. And you can see clearly that the text here at the bottom needs to be adjusted now. We'll go forward and we'll do that. So in this particular block, I'm going to edit the text and I will move it down after. So for this experience block, I really wanted it to say, website products, and I never changed it. So let me fix that because I'm like, what am I going to say here? All right, let's fix that. Website products. And we'll get that E out of there. And if you are following along, you noticed how I preserve the formatting by leaving one of the letters from the past before I paste it in the new text. Okay, so back down to this block here. We're going to edit this, and the color, the text is small, so I'd like to make it a wee bit bigger. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to make it, I think I picked 18 before, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, that's better. So this is on top of the other. So what I'll do here is I'll select it and I'll pull it down. And it's as simple as that. See how that works? And it lines up nicely. There you go. Now this white box, as you see, as I drag this down, now the white box is kind of out of alignment. So I'm going to go back up, I'm going to select the white box, and I'm going to make that bigger. Let's see how I do that. That one is locked. Okay, the white box has been locked. You can see that we have the lock icon here. So in order to do anything at all with it, when I select it, it tells me it's locked by two ways. It gets a red outline and it's got the lock button. To unlock, I take this more button, I unlock the position, and now I can do stuff with it. So now you see these handles have come about. I should be able to drag this and just drag it down to make it bigger. And that's exactly what I was able to do. So now that I've done that, I'll just pull this down a wee bit by selecting and dragging, and I think that should be good. Okay, so continuing on with this box, I will change the text to be something that I've already cut and pasted in for my website products, and let me go and get that. So again, a plug for getting your website plan in place. You really want to make sure that you have everything that you need ready for you so that when you go forward and you start to build, all you have to do is cut and paste and upload images, and that you're not sitting here confounded with the tool and trying to do your website development, your website images. You know, you don't want to be creating all of those things as you're sitting here trying to actually work with the tool. This is why it's advisable to have everything prepared ahead of time. So I pasted in my text. And so that's a lot of text. Let's see. So I am going to get rid of, the text after this, and I'm going to put 3 dots because there's a Learn More button and folks can go in and they can find out more about that information once I add that page later on. I'm simply deleting this information after that. So I have my 3 dots. Now again, I've created a sort of a little problem with the design, which can be fixed. Again, you know what you're doing, so you can see you have this issue. So what I'll do is I'll again select this, and I'm going to make it bigger by pulling it down and I really want it right at that bar of Learn More, as you can see what I did. And let's just pull this down a tad because it seems on top of the word. Okay, so there you are. Now we have one block done, and we have about 15 minutes left to this hour to create this website and this homepage, and I think we will actually hit that target. In another session, you would create the page that this particular link goes to. There is a pre-programmed link in here that says Learn More. I'm selecting it, and I'm going to edit it. And, oops, sorry, I need to actually, oh goodness, all right. So I've just moved that where I don't want it. I'm going to use the undo button, and I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to push that in place. So let's select this Learn More. Oops, it's not that easy to select Learn More. Okay, now that I have this text, let's select this text box, and let's go on the settings, because I think that's where we'll have the link. Okay, text settings. Nope, that's not where it is. That is more for the background color of the text and things like that. Sometimes it takes just a little playing around with this to figure out what you want to put in there, what you're trying to do. And we're in the settings, so there should be a link here to do this particular item. I'm going to leave that for now because I want to get the other items in place, and so you can see the visual of what this will look like. but we'll try to come back to that if we have time. And if we don't have time today, I'll feature it in another website builder session. So moving on to this particular block. Now we have a little mess here of this block looking kind of ugly. I'm going to select this and pull it down. And I want to line it up with, you can see here the little bar that's come up. It's helping me, guiding me to do the alignment. There it is. So that looks kind of good. You'll recall that I changed the text to be a different size. So before I paste in my own text, I'm going to do that here by selecting, ooh, goodness, sometimes I get a little carried away. Let's undo that. All right, I'm going to select this text. Okay, he's having trouble selecting the text right now. There we go. Okay, so I made this 18 prior, so I'm going to make this one 18 to match. Did I make it 18? Goodness, no, I made it 14. Okay, so the thing that you can also help yourself out with is if that you kind of make notations as you go along. If you have a particular color that you've used or a particular size font or something like that, you want to make a note of that so that you're okay with it. That doesn't look the same. 14, okay, interesting. Seems like that looks way smaller to me. Let me undo that and select this. Okie doke. Sometimes it's pesky to move with these things to get the right mouse movement and so forth. So that says 14. Okay, well, I'm going to get my consulting text from my document, and while I'm doing that, we'll just bear with me a moment while I get that. I have a lot of text here. I have a feeling that I'm going to need to take some out, but certainly we can do that. All right, here we go. Okay, so that puts a lot of text again. The goal here is to try to get this block and this block as equal as you can, so that it looks okay. And you can see this line kind of did something funny, but that's due to the big white box, which we'll fix after. Right, so I'm going to select the text again here. I want to see if I can actually make this, maybe it is larger and I'm not. That really looks more similar to me than what I have here. So I'm going to go with that. All right, let's try to align it a little better, like that. And that puts it in the center. And it's long, so I want to get rid of some of this text. So I'm just going to go in here and get rid of it so I can make it a little more equal and so forth. That's kind of not equal. Right direction. Let's see if I have something else here that I can add to that. What I'm going to do is we have just the help you need to get going. Maybe that will give me just enough text to make it equal. Okay. Let's get rid of a little of this. Sometimes it's challenging to have the text aligned, or not aligned, but equal. So I'm going to use at the word going because it leaves it similar to the other in terms of having a word here at the end and a word here at the end. And we have the learn more. The learn more text needs to be bigger as well. I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to make that 18. As I was highlighting that, I see the link came into play. So here we have where we can edit the link. Once I've highlighted this, there are link buttons here in the text. So you can take and you can change your link here. This shows you what it's linked to. In this case, it's linked to the home page. If you wanted to change it to any of the other pages on your website, you'd have to have the page existing first. So you'd need to select it here. Right now we don't have a page for this, but in the future we will. So then you could put the right page by selecting it and hitting update. For now, we're not doing that, so we're going to cancel. All right, so here we have this white box again that needs to be made bigger, and I need to actually get the box. Here we go. And it's locked, as we noted earlier, so I'm going to unlock it, and now I'm going to pull it down. Oops. Again, we'll undo, and then get the box, and then now I can pull the box down here under the Learn More, make it equal with the other. And I'm going to take this virtual consulting, and I'm going to spread it out. Oops. Sometimes locking them too is helpful for when you're trying to do these other tasks of moving things that are on top of each other, so you don't accidentally grab one of them and move them by accident. So here's the virtual consulting all on one line. Let's pull it down so it's equal with the website products. That's good. Okay, so we've got these two done. So now we're going to do the custom built websites. This white box is locked. I'm going to unlock it. Oops, that's the text box. I want the white box. Well, once I pull it down, it'll be visible. So let me pull it down. Let's pull this down like this. Make it equal with the other. Let's make the white box bigger. You can see it's locked. We unlock it by right-clicking on it and unlocking the position, and then it's selected. Now I can pull it down. Again, the challenge is to get the right element to pull down. Sometimes it takes a couple moments to actually be able to select the right one. Here's the white box here that I want. You can tell. You can always tell what's selected, as I said, by the outline. So here, let's pull this down. Okay, I think I'll just leave this on the side so I can pull this down without worrying. I can always put that back. So here I've pulled it down and I've eyeballed it to make it somewhat consistent with this. I want to pull this out to make it one line. I want to pull it down to make it even with the others. And I want to drag this back over to make it over here. Again, I want it to be equal with the others, but the text itself needs to have a bigger font. So I'm going to select it before I paste in my own text, make it 18. Okay, and so this has prepared text as well for custom built websites. Actually, I want to add an S to that. Select in there and add my S at the end, and that just pops it over. So that's interesting. I'm going to pull it out just a tad, and it is kind of over, but people won't be able to know that because it still looks fine to me. Okay, so let me go get the custom built website text so I can pop it in there, and I might have to modify that. I'm cutting and pasting it right now. We're running very close to time, but I think that we'll still be able to complete it in 1 hour. This is way too long. So let's adjust this. So we will build a fabulous customized mobile responsive website to showcase your product and service. Each website is tailored to your individual business. Let's get rid of some of this other stuff because we will probably repeat that on our page. Let's see, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Now it's going to be too short. Too short to my liking, but we can still work with it. I will just move the Learn More down. Actually, I'll move this whole block. If I move that down and then I pull this up. In an ideal world, I would have the exact number of words here prepared in advance. So this is again where I'm going to plug the preparation of a website text before you even start anything. And let's see if I can make this even. I might adjust this. I don't care for that. So I'm going to undo that and undo that. Okay. So somehow I have a little, oh, there we go. But now the top is off. So I really need more text here to make this work. I need another line of text. Let's see. What do I have that I can put there? We'll just take this, and I have a line of text that I'm going to paste in, which needs to be adjusted, but we'll create just the website. I'm going to get rid of this because I think this will help us be equal. And now I need to remove those carriage returns I put in there, and that's much better. Okay, so we have these 3 blocks now in place. We could lock them if we wanted to, so you could take and you could select, now that you're happy with the placement, you could select one, hit the control key, select another, select each of these elements in here, and then now right click on them and hit the lock key, and you've locked the position so that you can work forward and not worry about moving those. Now we're going to the footer of the website, and you can see that it has pre-programmed and put in some stuff. The directions part, seeing I'm a virtual business, I'm really not needing to have the directions here, that I don't need directions listed here. So I'm going to get rid of this by highlighting it and hitting the delete key. Very simple. I'd like this bold, and I'd like to put in a note about virtual appointments. So I'm selecting in this box, my cursor is before the S of Southbridge. Virtual appointments available. And then I'm going to just leave Southbridge. I don't think for now, I'm going to leave Southbridge, Mass. Ideally, I would put my whole address in here, my mailing and my physical address. You can see the little email down here is kind of stuck. It's not very bright. I'd like to make these 2 items bigger. They're small. I'd like to make them 18, and then I'd like to make them bold. I'm going to leave their color alone. I'm going to get rid of this Google Plus icon. I'm going to get rid of the Facebook icon. Not Facebook, sorry, Twitter. I do have Facebook. I want to make sure here that it is going to my page, so I need to customize this to say the actual page location or page name of my Facebook page. And keep in mind that it is not automatic. You've changed it once before up top, right here, but it doesn't mean that you have changed it everywhere. Each element is unique, and you need to change it in the appropriate place. So let's preview this. We have created a home page. It is under an hour, and we have a good start. Let's take a preview. By hitting preview, it will generate a preview. And you can see here that we have the elements of our page. I'm scrolling down. We've got everything that we wanted to put here, and that it's that easy. It really is. So if you're interested in this tool, I highly recommend it. I've kicked the tires many times. This is one of them. There are some nuances that you discover as you go along. Let's take a look at what it looks like in mobile. So on your mobile phone, you'll notice that it does not have the top image, and somehow this icon did not change in mobile, which is interesting. I'll have to look into that. But you see how it stacks everything up. So it has everything you want, the contact us, the virtual consulting. It's got your headline, your text, your 3 products stack on top of each other, those bullets that were outlined. So these items that were side by side in mobile always stack up. So this is it. If you wanted to go live with this, you would simply hit publish. I'm not doing that because I use this as my demo page, so I'm going to exit the preview, but it is saved, and I hope you enjoyed this session. We will have more sessions like this. We'll delve more into the details of this tool and many other website building sort of aspects. So let's see if we can switch back to